In this video, you're going to see how we can create the offset alignment. In the previous video, we have created the design profile. So if you missed it, make sure you check it out. Before we create our offset alignment, there's something I want us to first look at. We can look at an image of a road here. Here we have the center line of the road, which is represented by the center line alignment that we have created already. So we are going to offset this alignment on either side so that we're going to design a two-lane road. We are going to offset the center line on both sides, but you can see that at the edge of this lane, we shall have the shoulder on this side and then on the other side of the road. For now, let's first stop at that. When you look at this cross section, in this cross section, we can see that here is the center line, which is CL. Then we have the lane width. So we are going to design the first one here, paved 1B. We're going to use the dimensions for that in our design. So the lane width is 3.5 meters, which is from the center line up to this point. Then we can see that the lane extends into the shoulder. We have the shoulder here, but part of this lane will extend into the shoulder by 0.3 meters, as you see here. So this is what we are going to design. And then the shoulder, the width of our shoulder will be, okay, we shall discuss more of this later on. But for now, our lane width is going to be 3.5, and then it will extend a bit by 0.3 meters. Our lane offset from the center line will be 3.5 meters, but then it will have to extend into this part of the shoulder by a 0.3, as we have seen on the section. So we are going to see how to do that. Let's get back to Civil 3D. So to create the offset alignment, you can create it either by, so we're going to offset this center line. So you can select the center line, and then on the contextual ribbon, you can select offset alignment. So you get the dialog from where you can create the offset alignment. The other option you have, you can create it by going to the Home tab and then create design. Click on the drop down on alignment and then look for create offset alignment. So let us choose this one, create offset alignment. Then when you select that, it will prompt you to select an alignment when you check on the command line here. So if you have so many alignments and you may not want to select it from here, you can press enter. So when you read that, it says, oh, press enter to select. So you can press enter and then you select from the list of alignments that you have here. So we only have one alignment here, center line alignment, which is roadway. So let us just select that and say, okay. After that, it will bring for you this dialog. The naming, we have a template, which will have the parent alignment name, the side, and then the offset distance. So we are going to have it from the start up to the end. Make sure these two are checked. So the number of offsets on the left, you're going to have one, and then one on the right. So you're going to have a two-lane road. And then the incremental offset on the left. Our lane width is 3.5 meters, but you're going to have an extension of 0.3 meters, both on the left and the right. So we're going to have 3.8. We're going to enter here 3.8 to cater for that. So both on the left and the right. So this really will depend on what you want to design. It's not a must that it has to be this. It just depends on exactly what you want to design. On the general tab here, make sure you set the site to none, and then the alignment style, let us leave it at offsets, the layer zeroed, and then we are not going to have any labels for our offset alignments. However, if you wanted, you could choose one of these, but it's not necessary to have labels on an offset alignment. Let's just leave it at that. The widening criteria, we are not going to have any widening around curves. Sometimes we may need to have it, but we are not going to have it. Then create offset profile. So make sure you check that so that you create the offset, the profile for this offset alignment. One thing I have to note is that it's important for you to create the offset alignments after creating the profile for your road. It's very important because when you create this offset alignment, it will get its profile from the parent alignment, which is the center line alignment. So it's always important to create the offset after creating the profile for the center line alignment, which is exactly what we have done. So make sure you check create profile for offset alignment, then the parent profile. So the parent profile is going to be the design profile for the center line alignment, which is the roadway design profile. So we are not changing that. And then superimpose onto profile view. So we are not going to superimpose it, so leave it at none. Then the cross slope from parent profile. So the cross slope, we are going to have it as 2.5. Let's choose 2.5. Then the profile name. So the profile name, let's just leave it as given by this template. And then the profile style, let's leave it still at that. We are not changing anything there, and we are good to go. So just click on OK. When you click OK, you see that Civil 3D will create for us the offset alignment, which is what you're seeing here in white. All right, so you can see it. It will create it from the start up to the end of our road. So we have finally generated the offset alignment. So one thing you have to know is that this offset alignment and the center line, whenever you change the center line, the offset alignment will also change. So they are dynamically linked. So let me just show you that when you move this, when you use these groups and you move the center line, you realize that the offset will also have to move. So you can see that once you try to move the center line, the offset will also move. However, I'm not interested in moving it. Let me just escape. I don't want to make any changes. So escape that. So we have created our offset alignment. So one more thing to look at is that at some point you might want to create something like a roadside parking. You want to create something like a bus bay around here, but I want to see how we can create that. So to create that, we need to add a widening on our offset alignment. So of course, it's not a must that whenever you design, you have to add it, but yeah, in case you need to add it, so we want to see how you can add it there. So in order to add the widening, select your offset alignment. After selecting that, on the contextual ribbon, you will see something like add widening. So just click on this, add widening. And then it will, Support 3D will ask you, create widening portion as a new alignment. So if you want to create it as a new alignment, you can say yes, but we don't want to create a new alignment. Just say no. So after selecting no, it will prompt you to select a start station. Let's select our start station at chain edge. Let's choose it at chain edge 200. Let's just choose it at 200. And then let's select our end station at something like 200. I want it to be something like 40 meters. Let's choose it at 240. So after selecting the end station, Supposedly will prompt you to select or to enter the widening offset. Now, one thing for you to notice that the widening offset is measured from the parent alignment. The parent alignment is the center line alignment. So I want my offset from here to be something like 2 meters away from the offset. So the offset from the center line is at 3.8. So when you add on 2, it will become 5.8. So you have to make sure that you enter that distance measured from the parent alignment, not from the offset. It is always measured from the parent alignment. So we're going to enter 5.8 and then press enter. So when you press enter, our widening, you can see that our widening is now created. So we can use this window to edit some of the parameters so that it fits in to what we want. So we can see that here is the widening parameters. You have the offset, the start station, the end station, and then the region length. So the transition parameters at entry, let us change this to the entry type. Let us change it to linear. So when you change it to linear, the transition length, the taper, let us leave it by length, and then let's change the transition length to something like 3 meters or 2 meters. Let's make it 3 meters. So when you make it 3 meters, let's go to the exit. Then we choose the same parameters. Let's make it linear and we make this 3 meters. So after that, we shall need to adjust the start and the end station of this. Let us adjust the start station. I wanted the start station here to be at chain age 200, 0 plus 200. So just enter 200 there. Then the end station, make it chain age 240. Press enter. So the region length is going to be 40 meters. Start station, chain age 200, then end station, chain age 240. Let's accept that and then close this dialog. When you come back to this, you will find that there are some groups here which you can use to make some changes on this offset if you need to. But for now, we don't really need to. You can change the start station and the end station by using some of those groups. You can change the taper. You can change the offset. So you can clearly see when you hover on this group that the offset distance is indeed measured from the center, from the parent alignment. The parent alignment to this was the center line. So the offset is 5.8 measured from the center line. Press escape to leave that. And so finally, we have now created the offset alignment and we have added a widening. So you can add as many widenings as you want if you really need them. So in some cases, this can act as a bus bay or roadside parking for some vehicles that need to park without interfering with the through traffic. So if you want to change the label style for this centerline alignment, at the beginning here, I don't like the way how they were labeled. So you can select the centerline alignment, right click, and then select edit alignment labels. When you click on that, I'm not going to change whatever is here. No, I'm not going to go through how to change all this and edit that, but I'm going to just click on this import label set so we can import a different label set. So on the drop down here, you can see we have all labels, major, minor, and geometry points. So let us choose major and minor only, and then we click on OK. The profile, let us just leave it at none and then click OK. Just click on OK. And then our alignment label style has now changed. So I think we can leave it at this. All right. We have successfully created our offset alignment in this video. So if you found this helpful, make sure you subscribe, like, and share out to your friends so that they don't miss out. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.